The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors. Lighting for ECAT production provided by the Avery Lee Williams Family Foundation.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harris and Young. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harris and Young as we roll through July like gangbusters. And my 15th anniversary of my first show is only 5 weeks from now, which is fantastic. And we have an awesome guest tonight. We're going down to the lovely state of Virginia. Virginia is for lovers, and we don't have to go there, but we'll just, if any lovers are down in Virginia, I hope you're enjoying this. But before we get to my guest, got to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we have the Boston Auto Group in North Easton. We have the Jewelry Salon in South Easton. We have Lord Pizza in North Attleboro. Great to have them back. Okay, go ahead. We have the Executive Barber Shop in North Easton. Feel how you look. We have New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We have One Good Credit in Brockton. We have Lynch's Towing Auto Cycle and Truck Center in Brockton. One number for towing, one number for projects. My pal Lynchy there is always in search of new scrap metal, wheels, anything to do with transportation. He handles it all. We have Furnett & Associates PC in Brockton, the lawyers, attorneys at law. We have the Mansfield Boxing Club in Norton. We have Bogey's Indoor Golf in Norton featuring virtual courses, driving range, golf leagues, private tea times, private lessons, memberships, parties and events, food and beverage. We have New York Pizza in Mansfield. They cater and deliver as well. We have Diesel Plus Unlimited in Whitman. We have Calamity Grooming for Pets in Taunton. We have Vineyard Farm in West Bridgewater. We have good old Dave's Automotive in Hanson on Route 58. We have Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We have Grant's Rental in Bridgewater. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have RW Carpet and Flooring in Norton, covering floors for 50 years. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have Doggy Boutique, all-breed professional grooming for dogs and cats, run by my great next-door neighbor, Debbie Siddell in Brockton. We have Tom Auto in Middleborough. We have Evan Young Realty. That's my brother, the realtor. We have Haven Psychiatric Services right here in the building in room 211. We have DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington on Route 58, and we have Joe's Diner in Taunton. We have the Riverside Cafe in Wareham, open 6 days a week, all except Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. They make the best breakfast from Boston to the Cape, and they have DoorDash delivery. And we have Brian's Barbershop in Kingston. I want to thank you guys very much. Bonnie Bell is short for Bonnie Balentine, and you're a filmmaker and you have a production company, and you're sitting in a library in Virginia somewhere, where, Fairfax maybe?
No, I'm in a valley, actually, in Warren County. So I'm really near the Shenandoah River.
Shenandoah. I hear a lot of good songs about the Shenandoah River. Actually, I heard one, and that's all I needed to hear was one song about it. I didn't need to hear any more, and that sold me. I love that river. I've never even been there. Okay. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to sum up in a nutshell what you do. Now, I saw on Facebook, it looked like you produce films, correct? Is that what you do?
No, well, I've worked in film a little bit, but
okay.
Mostly production I'm doing and that I've done has been actually similar to the show that you do here.
Okay.
I helped create and started a show called Chatbox with Sam, and we did several seasons of that together before I turned that over and stepped back from that. And then I've done a lot of talking. We've gone to Pensacon, a couple of us together, and done talks, Q&A panels and things like that about production and things of those nature. So it's mostly web series and smaller content. We've also done, there are a couple of people I tend to generally work with often. So, but I worked on a little short or sort of an inside joke thing that became a big deal with a couple of friends I have, and with some of my other friends, we made a little short video for that, for No Skittles for Bobby, and I just kind of caught the bug at that point and just kept learning and editing and producing things like that. So I just do whatever I feel like doing, but that's what I've been.
Well, sounds like you got your own kind of podcast down there. Is that it?
So she had a podcast. I created that with her and I produced that. We did a lot of live stream stuff. We
Okay.
went and did media for Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida. We're not involved with them at this point. But that's the kind of stuff that we got into. So she did some interviews and we produced that stuff. I did that.
All right.
Several
So you're her producer, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now how long has she had this? How long has she had this event? This setup? How long has she had it for?
I want to say this is season 5. I'm pretty sure. I'm not producing now. She's producing it herself at this point.
Okay.
But I got it going, and we worked on it together for a couple of seasons before I stepped back, and she took over on her own.
Okay. Well, what are you doing? What are you doing currently for yourself then? If you're not with her anymore.
So I'm doing other projects. I'm working with other people, doing some collaboration stuff, and then I'm also working on things of my own.
Okay.
Now I'm focused on scripts and publishing. And so I'm doing some script consultations with a friend of mine, Heather May, and we're working really hard on trying to tighten up one of her projects now. These are her scripts, and I'm consulting with her and helping her out. So the first one that's going to come is called Jess Wolf. We're really excited about that. And then there's another one following right behind it called Midnight Daisy. That's going to be really enticing too. So we're doing that. And then I'm working with another friend, Robert Ben Bobby, and I've been helping him with some books that he does. So I've been creating, editing, and like designing the books and publishing the books. And then we have a workbook that's about to come out that's complementary to the book series. And that's going to be like a guided, prompted gratitude journal to go with the books. So that's exciting. I'm co-authoring that. And so that's where most of my focus is now. I'm going to be starting a script of my own as well after I conclude this. And then I have another friend who's got a script in the works as well.
Okay. So, now you just mentioned web series. Is that what these are all web series? Because I got to tell you, I was actually involved in some web series back in the last decade, and I don't know what. And it seems to me around here anyway, I was involved in 2. One up in New Hampshire where I interviewed some people that did this dark comedy called Paraguards, where they were first responders. And then I was down in Rhode Island. These are 2 New England states and I don't remember what that was, but I remember we shot some stuff in the woods back in 2013. So so what you're doing is you basically have a regular series with people, sitcom or situations that can occur day after day, week after week, year after year. Is that what this is about?
So the Chatbox with Sam show is very similar to this show. She's now calling it a podcast, but at the time we were referring to it as a web series because it's video based and it's like what you're doing. So she would interview guests and just kind of ask the same questions to each guest to just kind of show similarities and things like that between people as humans. So she had, some known guests, some celebrity guests, as well as some less known people who were just experts in their field and, just trying to show that we all are the same, no matter what we're really doing. So.
That's cool. Okay. What do you mean by scripts though? You just mentioned scripts.
Yeah. So the scripts that I'm working on now with Heather that are Heather's 2 scripts she's doing they're both films. So these are feature films she's working on. And Jess Wolf is going to be a really great 80s tribute, but with a modern twist. But that's going to be an exciting thriller type thing. That's a feature film. And then Midnight Daisy is also a feature film. And that's following Jess. So right now we're working on that. Another friend of mine has a script she's just starting, and hers is going to be more like a series. And that's just going to be also sort of an interview series, but she's going to script hers. So then for mine is also going to be a feature that I'm working on as well.
Okay. But what are you talking about? By script, I'm just trying to grasp a picture here. These are you're talking about films and you're talking about interviews, the 2 different things, but they involve, you're working on both. Is that it?
I'm no longer working.
You're not only doing the interviews. Everything is now, you're doing an 80s, you're doing like an 80s tribute thing, that's going to be cool with a twist. And and that's what you're working on currently, right? Is that your current project?
Yes, I'm consulting with Heather. That's her project, and I'm working on that with her.
Okay, and in what capacity? Like, are you an actress in it? Are you writing the script? Are you doing any of the film production behind the scenes, or all of the above, or what?
Yeah, I don't have any intention of a role in the film, like who knows, but that's not the plan. I'm working with her on the script. I'm helping her get all her production stuff in line. We're doing a pitch deck, making some contact with some studios and some actors, things like that. So I'm helping her manage that. So it's a production consultant role. And that's going to be the same for the second film for Midnight Daisy, as far as we know at the moment. Who knows? That might change.
Okay.
But that's our intention now. So the series that I told you before, the web series with the interviews, I'm not involved with that currently. That show is still airing. She's about to start a new season, but she now on her own without me.
Okay.
So I have taken a backseat role with that. I've occasionally produced a live stream for her, or I help her with some tech support or something, but she's off and running on her own with that at this point.
Okay, but all right. So how many film projects do you have under your belt now, basically? Since you, how long? First of all, how long ago did you start this company where you do films?
So I got invited into a production company and asked to partner with a previously existing company,
Okay.
Much More Studios
Okay.
at one, and that kind of launched me into the chat box with
How
Sam.
long ago was that?
That was about 4 years ago.
Okay.
And that was after being involved with some smaller productions that were going on. I was just I had like a backseat role with, like, my arm appeared in one of the videos or something. But anyway, I just got really interested in that, and I got invited into a production position in a previously existing company. So I became a partner in Much More Gooder Studios, and then I just kind of also started doing my own stuff on the side that had a different interest. So with Much More Gooder Studios, we started Chatbox with Sam and, focused on that. And then I started doing these other projects with some other friends who were already in the acting and production industry. So I just sort of stepped into that and do my own stuff now.
Okay.
So generally I consult at this point, and they have their own companies that I consult with them on their own projects. So mine is still to come. I'm working on that.
Okay. All right. So basically, you're a self-made film producer, correct, at this time? But not completely self-made. You couldn't have done it without being pulled on board. But now you're smart, you're savvy enough to do it yourself too, right? You pretty much have all the skills it takes to do this by yourself. But you can't really do it alone. You have to have people helping you. But you're the big cog in the machine right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't refer to myself as a film producer. I would refer to myself as a producer, but I haven't produced a feature film, so I wouldn't. Okay. But I definitely am a production consultant. I've done producing of video, audio. I've done editing, a lot of editing, like so much editing.
Oh, good. Okay, you know what you're doing, because editing is tricky.
It's really difficult. Once you do it 1,000 times, though, it starts to be more second nature, and I really enjoy it. I did a lot of audio editing for a podcast for a friend, and that was really nice. I like the audio editing the most, so I'm working on that for myself too, to launch a podcast shortly, and that's going to be really exciting too.
All right, tell me about your education history. Did you go to college, and if so, where, and what did you major in?
Yeah, so interesting story. Actually, I got pregnant in high school and didn't finish, and then I got my GED, and then I started pursuing college. So all my college was done partially in person, partially online. I ended up in the long run with 3 degrees. I have a 2-year degree with honors in criminal investigation and justice. And then I have a 2-year, an associate's degree in psychology. And then I have a 4-year bachelor's degree in communication for media. So
okay. What schools did you go to? You said you went online, and then did you get anything in person as well? I think you just said you did, right?
I did. I did some in community college locally, and then I also did some online. It was this run-of-the-mill stuff, where it was University of Phoenix and another one called Axia College, and so I just did that all at home while I was having a lot of kids. I have 6 kids, and I just
6 kids.
And I just kept doing college all the time until I had all these degrees, and then I started putting it into use very slowly until I've found something I just really enjoy now. And I do a lot of art as well. Art is really my main thing in music.
Okay,
So
we'll talk about that too. But before we do, I gotta ask you, how do you balance your time with 6 kids to be able to do all this stuff?
not that well, I have to be honest.
Well, I mean, they're not adults, are they? They couldn't be that old.
No, no, they are.
Really?
My son's almost 30.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my youngest, he's the only boy, and then I have 5 girls that go down from 19 to 13. So yeah, the youngest is 13, and I even have a grandchild, and that's so weird to me that I'm old enough for that, but apparently
I
I
know. You don't look old enough. I mean, you look. I don't know. You look like you look about 28. But if you got a 30, obviously, if you got a 30-year-old son, you can't be 28. See, how smart am I to figure that out, right?
am. That's fun.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, well, tell me about your art and music history. Does that go back to your childhood? Because that's what I like to cover with everybody too. Talk about that. What did you do that as a child? And if so, describe it, please. If not, then let me know when you did start it, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so my mother is really largely to blame for this involvement I have in the arts. She took me around to her band practices. She was in basement bands, and I spent a lot of time in people's living rooms doing my homework and just hearing music constantly. She constantly had music on, and I had an early love for music. So it's something I'm totally obsessed with. I use it for healing, sleeping, feeling better, anything. I didn't get into music myself until later. I've always been a writer, and I started writing. My mom got one of my poems into a book like behind my back when I was 12. And
Wait a
so
minute. What did you say she did behind your back?
she took one of my poems and submitted it to
Oh,
Women
okay. How did it work? Did you win anything? Did you get
as
recognition?
Yeah, like an anthology where they kind of publish everybody. But at 12, to see your poem in a book is like, I
Oh, I
could do
know.
this,
I'm a
do
writer
whatever.
too. I wrote some books too, so I know how fun that is. I
Yeah,
did a book of poetry in the '70s, and I'm guessing you were probably around then if you're old enough to have a 30-year-old. But then in the
yeah,
'90s, I self-published a book of short stories. And if you ever
cool.
want to try to convert any of them into a film, feel free. I'll send you a copy.
I would love a copy. That sounds great.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
talk. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Discussion. We'll discuss that later. But all right.
Okay.
So now, did you say now? Did you grow up in the neighborhoods you live in now, or the area?
No, I grew up in Virginia.
You did. Okay.
I briefly scooted off to Ocean City, Maryland for a few years, but then I
Okay.
came back. So I've kind of been like trying to leave Virginia my whole life, but then I just decided I didn't want to anymore. So I would still move out of Virginia and to other places. I've traveled now, and I have several places I like, but I've just always been here. So but no, I grew up in kind of in Fairfax County, and then I moved from there a little bit south-ish, southwest, and I came out of the city and into some more rural areas where I am now. So I love the mountains.
Yeah, me too. I love the mountains too. You're probably near West Virginia, right?
Very near, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Very
what I
near.
figured, because that's kind of the way that's the topography of the land. I've never been there, but I do some research. I look at maps and stuff. All right, well, tell me about the kind of art you do. I know you do film production. Is there anything else? Drawing, painting, sculpting?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I haven't done a lot of sculpting yet. I probably
All
will.
right, well, what do you do? Tell me about what you do.
I really like doing macrame. So I have like a theory that you can macrame anything, you know? So I make stuff in that way. I've had a little shop online and stuff. I've been doing that for years. And then I also have a really deep love for wood burning. So I try to do a lot of different stuff. I sort of stick to my, heritage type roots and stuff. So I really try to focus on, anything that's Irish, Scottish, Norse, anything like that. I focus on that stuff. Symbolism and things like that are heavy for me, and I really enjoy that kind of stuff. So I also like to draw, I paint, I do like textured painting, weird stuff. And I make jewelry, I could do pretty much anything. I just like art in general, but my main focus is the macrame, the jewelry, painting and wood burning are my favorites.
Okay, well,
So
do you sell any of these things that you produce?
yeah,
Okay, how
Yeah.
do you, online, in person, both?
Yes, both. I have stuff in a couple of local shops. I have got a little online Etsy shop. It's very backseat. And then I also do like if somebody wants something custom, I would make that for them, in person or whatever. So I've got always, friends or people online like, oh, I wish someone would make this. I'm like, I can make that. So it's minimal, but I really want it to be a much bigger focus in my life. That's something I feel like I should just be doing that a lot. So art and music are my main loves, but the art also comes through in the creativity of anything I'm making. Anytime I'm doing music or a video or anything we're working on, I feel good about that. Books and scripts, and it's all art. So I really like art in general. That's it.
All right, tell me a little about the current stuff you're doing in music. Do you play an instrument? Do you sing? Were you ever in a band? If
I have. I was like a backup singer in a band for a little minute, and I just didn't love that. I didn't want to do the performing aspect of it so much. I love to sing, but I'm not a professional singer like on anything. I just sing at my house mostly or whatever. So yeah, I make music a little bit. It's not that great, but I like it. But I kind of focus on like electronic dance type music. So that's my favorite to create. But that's pretty much it. I've just always been a singer. I played trombone for a second in school, and none of that's really for me. I feel like I can play guitar, but I never can. So
no, you
like
just say you dance too?
not when anyone's
I
watching.
thought I heard you say dance. I guess I misunderstood you. All right, okay. Now, have you ever created a music video for anybody?
No, I haven't. But that's actually a fun idea.
That's why that's why I asked it. I always try to give my guests ideas that can behoove them down the line. I love that word behoove.
Yeah.
It sounds very cathartic. Behoove. So
Yes.
so maybe now I'm sure you know a lot of people that play music and sing, right? You probably have a lot of friends that do, right?
I do know a lot of people that do music. I've actually this is fun. So earlier in my life, my brother passed away, and
Oh,
he was very young, and a guitar player, a musician. He and I both were very inspired with music. My dad also played guitar, and when he died, my brother really just picked it up, and it became a connection for him. So when he died, my brother, it just left my mom and me, and we were both really pretty demolished by that.
yeah.
Um,
You can imagine.
and this was a time where the internet wasn't huge yet. And so a lot of musicians really were struggling to even be heard, certainly to get any kind of opportunity to make money from their music or get published, or it's like you had to send your demo and that was all you could do. So I started a nonprofit organization called Shooting Star Musicians Network. That went on for about 5 years. And I did this in my brother's honor. And the objective was to give musicians a local platform and then invite industry professionals and the community to see them do their art, and then, make them some money and get them out there. And that was so great. I did that for like 5 years. I had so many friends. We were all volunteer. It didn't cost us anything and we didn't make anything. And all of the profit we made off of the shows went directly to the bands that played those shows. And so we would put together like a 10-band show, and it would be an all-day event, a Ticketmaster event at we were primarily at a place called Jack's in Springfield, Virginia. And we also did like some field party stuff and things like that, more out in the country where we were living. So it was really great. We had CDs, that we put together, and we would sell merchandise at the event, and all of those sales and everything from that. And our portion of the ticket sales would all go to the bands. So several of those bands did go on and get, noticed later on, get some contracts, and all of them are still doing music. And I still have a great deal of musical friends. So that's been exciting.
Well, that's so now the idea is you could write a script and choreograph a music video for them using their lyrics and create it, and get actors. I bet it would be a blast. I've been in a couple of music videos. I know they're fun.
Cool. Yeah.
So that's what I'm just thinking. You might want to add that to your repertoire as you move on, and in what you're doing now with your production and stuff.
Yeah. I'd really like to get more involved with music again. I've been talking with a friend of mine on and off, and she does a lot of promotion and things like that. And, we sort of lightly talked about trying to expand that and do something together. So I'd really love to rehash that organization I had with the power of the internet now, because this was, like I said, it wasn't there before like this. And with that here now, if I were to step back into that'd just be really magnificent. So I'd hope to give some opportunity. I really aspire to have a film festival and like a Comic-Con that I've developed. Who knows how long that will take? It could just fall in my lap, though.
Well, you just gotta feel it out, and when it's ready, it's ready.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
I'd like that and have a musical element and provide that platform myself.
Exactly. Well, Bonnie, guess what? We're in the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me. I hope you covered your deal pretty good.
Thanks. Yeah, I've had a great time. I'm really excited.
All right. Well, that having been said, here's what I want you. First thing I want you to do is give a few shouts out to people that are going to see the show, and then condense them, and then we'll wrap the show up with my snap and the way we began it. So go ahead.
Okay. Well,
you got 6 kids. You might as well start with them if you want. Yeah. That's up to you.
Yes, my kids. So my kids are Andrew, Annabelle, Jessica, and Julie. They're twins. Alora and Ellie. And definitely a shout out to Keith, because he's always helping me when I am falling apart. And then Bobby, I don't even know what to say. He's also always there. He's really been a huge professional supporter. He's taught me a lot, and I've taught him a lot, and he's a great professional business partner for a lot of things. Sam, can't wait to see the next season. Good luck. And Heather is the one that I'm working the most with right now. And that's going to be really, really great to see where we go with these films of hers. And I'm really excited about that. So that's what I'd love everybody to keep their eye out for, all of that stuff.
Okay. And if any of those people you think might be a good guest for my show, you got my number, have them contact me. We'll get them on. I always prefer the in-person interview, but Zoom obviously works. We can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm getting more guests from word of mouth now as I fast approach the 15th, anniversary of my first show, which will be August 18th, which is only, like I said from the beginning, like 5 weeks from now. Now, is there anything coming up on the horizon that you want to mention that you might overlook? I just want to make sure we cover everything before we wrap the show up. If not, that's fine, but I check that with every guest. So think it carefully, and then just let me, and then we'll leave it with that.
I feel like as soon as I hang up, I'm gonna be like, oh, why didn't I say that? But I feel like I said everything. I just don't know.
All right, that's fine. All right, well, that's okay. That's good. All right. Well, I mean, it sounds like what you got going on is keeping you pretty busy, and it sounds like it's gonna flourish like never before.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too. So that's where I'm headed.
All right. Well, and now so if you had a good time with me, like I said, you have to tell anyone you can think of that might be a good guest for my show. We're gonna wrap the show up in less than 2 minutes. Quick favor, would you stick around, and my tech guy, I'll take a pic for Facebook, and I'll tag you in it, and you can tag me too. I'd really appreciate that. All right. Yeah. Well, if we run a little under, that's fine. I think we covered a lot of stuff, and you're gonna upload those photographs so that, and we'll edit them in when we do the editing next week.
Yeah.
That's it.
And some clear conversation about those, so you'll be able to stick them right in where we
exactly. We'll insert them exactly where you discussed what you mentioned, and that's how we do it here. We're always in sync and on the same page. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We're gonna wrap the show up. All right, folks. Another great Topic Time episode in the books. Another incredible guest next week. He's a film actor, big time. Well, you'll see. So get psyched to stay tuned. And now we're wrapping up this wonderful show. Wrapping up and snapping out if my boombox works. Come on. Here we go. There we go.
Lighting for ECAT production provided by the Avery Lee Williams Family Foundation.